Nighttime in Bangor, Maine. The temperature has plunged to minus 17 degrees Celsius. A brutal winter storm is burying the runway in ice. A Bombardier Challenger 650, registration N10KJ, screams down runway 33, its dual engines at full takeoff power. V1, rotate. The moment the nose wheel lifts off the slushy tarmac, the cockpit erupts into chaos. The wings aren't gripping the air. The lift is gone. "Watch the wing! Watch the wing!" the pilot shouts over the engine roar.
Stick shift, don't let us dead
The
power
control
up.
yoke
Go
shakes
down.
violently in his hands, the stick shaker warning of an imminent stall. Just 50 feet above the ground, the aircraft rolls sharply to the right. Gravity is no longer a concept, it's a predator. Amidst the freezing darkness and swirling snow, the multi-million-dollar luxury jet becomes a fireball. In less than 30 seconds, 6 lives are extinguished. This is the story of the Maine private jet disaster. The Bombardier Challenger 650 is the gold standard of corporate aviation. A $32 million masterpiece of engineering designed for transcontinental speed and unmatched comfort. On this night, aircraft N10KJ is preparing for a long-haul journey from Houston, Texas, across the Atlantic to Paris, France. In the flight deck are 2 highly experienced crew members. The captain has logged over 5,000 flight hours, many on the Challenger platform, while the first officer is a seasoned veteran of cold weather operations. For them, a fuel stop at Bangor International Airport in Maine is a routine procedure. A quick gas and go before the long oceanic crossing. On board are 4 passengers, traveling for business, completely unaware of the meteorological trap being set outside. Maine is currently being battered by Winter Storm Fern. Visibility is a mere 3/4 of a mile, and the holdover times for anti-icing fluids are being pushed to their absolute limits. The crew is meticulous. They request a full de-icing treatment. Type 1 fluid to remove existing snow, and Type RFUI fluid, that thick green buffer, to prevent new ice from forming. But in these extreme temperatures, the clock is ticking. Every minute spent on the taxiway is a minute where the chemical protection on the wings slowly loses its battle against the freezing precipitation. At 7:36 p.m., the de-icing trucks pull away. The Challenger's wings glisten with a fresh coat of Type 4 fluid. In the cockpit, the crew feels a sense of urgency. They know that in a storm this severe, the fluid's holdover time, the window of safety before ice begins to readhere, is dangerously short. Checklist complete. "We are clear for taxi," the first officer confirms. But then, a minor delay. Taxiway congestion forces N10KJ to hold short of runway 33. For 8 minutes, the aircraft sits stationary. Outside, the supercooled droplets of the Maine storm are landing on the wings. In these conditions, the green Type 4 fluid undergoes a catastrophic change. It becomes saturated, losing its ability to shed the freezing moisture. The pilots can't see the tops of the wings from the cockpit. They rely on the clean wing principle, the assumption that their de-icing treatment is still holding. This is a classic case of confirmation bias. They've de-iced, the engines are running perfectly, and the instruments show no errors. In their minds, they are ready. "Line up and wait." The controller's voice crackles over the radio. As the pilots advance the throttles to takeoff power, they are unaware of the wing contamination happening in real time. The smooth, aerodynamic curve of the Challenger's wing is being deformed by a thin, sandpaper-like layer of frost. This microscopic disruption of airflow is about to become a death sentence. 80 knots. Cross-checked, the first officer calls out. The Challenger 650 is hurtling down the runway. At this speed, the air should be rushing smoothly over the wings, creating the pressure differential that allows the 20-ton machine to fly. But the ice has changed the physics. Instead of a smooth flow, the air is becoming turbulent, tumbling over the surface in a chaotic mess. "Venim, rotate." The captain pulls back on the yoke. The nose rises, but the response is sluggish. The aircraft isn't biting the air. As the plane climbs to just 50 feet, the airflow over the right wing suddenly detaches completely. This is an aerodynamic stall, but it's happening far earlier than the onboard computers predicted. "What's that? Why are we shaking?" the captain yells. The startle effect takes over. Adrenaline surges as the pilots are hit with a sensory overload. The plane suddenly snaps to the right. the wingtip nearly clipping the snow-covered ground. This is the wing drop phenomenon, a classic symptom of ice contamination on a T-tail aircraft. The pilots fight back, pushing the control yoke forward to regain airspeed and slamming the left rudder to level the wings. But they are trapped in a dead zone. Because they are so low to the ground, there is no altitude to trade for airspeed. The plane is caught in a deep stall. Inside the cabin, the G-forces shift violently. The passengers are thrown against their seatbelts as the aircraft oscillates wildly. The pilots are staring at a windshield filled with nothing but white snow and the dark horizon of the Maine woods. "I can't hold it! Push it forward! Push it!" The right wingtip digs into the soft earth beside the runway. The aircraft cartwheels, the fuel tanks in the wings rupturing instantly. A massive fireball erupts into the night sky, a beacon against the winter storm. In the cockpit, the flight data recorder loses power. The struggle is over. As the sun rises over Bangor, the devastation is clear. The charred remains of N-10KJ lie scattered across the frozen turf, a black scar on the white landscape. Investigators from the NTSB arrive on the scene, battling sub-zero temperatures to recover the black boxes, the cockpit voice recorder and the flight data recorder. Early speculation pointed to engine failure, but the wreckage tells a different story. Both engines show evidence of high-speed rotation at the time of impact, meaning they were producing full power until the very end. The focus shifts to the wings. Investigators discover a chilling fact. Although the plane was de-iced, it sat for 8 minutes in active frost and freezing sleet conditions. On a Bombardier Challenger, the wings are clean, meaning they lack leading-edge slats. This design makes the aircraft incredibly efficient at high altitudes, but extremely unforgiving during takeoff if the wing surface is even slightly roughened. Preliminary data suggests a wing contamination event, the NTSB lead investigator states during a press briefing. The 8-minute gap exceeded the effectiveness of the anti-ice fluid in these specific, extreme conditions. The FDR shows that the pilot's inputs were rapid and aggressive, but the laws of aerodynamics had already been broken. The plane wasn't stalling because of a lack of speed. It was stalling because the ice had changed the very shape of the wing, making it impossible to produce lift. As of now, the investigation remains open. The aviation world awaits the final analysis of the flight control computers to see if a mechanical hard-over contributed to the roll, but the evidence leans heavily toward a weather-related tragedy. The crash of N-10KJ in the frozen woods of Maine serves as a haunting reminder of aviation's most basic rule. The clean wing policy is absolute. In the world of high-stakes corporate flying, where tight schedules often collide with extreme weather, there is no margin for error. The legacy of this disaster will likely lead to even stricter holdover time guidelines for T-tail aircraft without leading-edge slats. Pilots are being reminded that even if the fluid is still green, a visual inspection of the wing surface is the only way to truly guarantee safety in a winter storm. We will continue to analyze the black box data, the authorities conclude. Once the final report is released, we will provide a full update on the technical specifics and any new safety mandates. Every tragedy in the sky is a lesson written in the wreckage. As investigators piece together the final seconds of N-10KJ, the aviation community watches, learns, and waits, ensuring that the 6 lives lost in the Maine snow lead to a safer sky for everyone else. Stay tuned as we follow the final NTSB report on this investigation. Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe for more updates.